Welcome to Marketing Brew Weekly, where we dig into what's surprising and delighting the marketing industry. I'm Jenny Mywin, reporter at Marketing Brew.
I'm Kelsey Sutton, editor.
And I'm Katie Hicks, senior reporter.
Today, we are taking our shopping carts for a spin and talking about Black Friday, Cyber Monday marketing. It is the biggest shopping event of the year, isn't it? Or maybe not.
So it's Black Friday week, you guys, and I want to know, did either of you grow up doing any Black Friday shopping, going to the mall bright and early, ready to throw some elbows?
Get those doorbusters.
Yeah.
Deals. I never threw any punches. I will say that. No one come for me on that. But I do. My sister actually loved going Black Friday shopping. And I remember like waking up early after Thanksgiving and going to our local mall. I specifically really wanted the Hollister perfume one year because of how distinctive a smell it was. And I was convinced that I needed it in my life. And I stood in a long, long line to get that perfume on a Black Friday.
Worth it?
Honestly, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's good. It was a good deal.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I never did it. I was always afraid. I grew up near the Mall of America, so I feel like I went to school with people who were like really intense about Black Friday, and they'd line up and like fight people to go to any you name it store inside there. Just was too overwhelming for me.
A little
much. I stuck to my online shopping.
I think that, this was not that long ago that we were, that either you or people that you knew were doing that. And I think that Black Friday, we have to talk about how much Black Friday and Cyber Monday has changed because, of course, people do their Black Friday shopping November 1st, perhaps. So it's really just has like a totally different beast than it was.
I feel like even the
few years ago.
doorbusters aren't even much of a thing anymore. I mean, that was such a thing, but like, are people even doing that anymore? Like lining up, or is that just like a little nostalgia thing at this point?
Right, like 3 a.m. getting into line at Best Buy. I don't know. It doesn't feel like that's something that we see all that often. Well, it has changed so much, and we're going to get into it all. But first, if you guys could automate one thing out of your life, what would it be?
Honestly, for me, doing my makeup. If I could walk up in front of my mirror and just have everything placed on my face and then I could leave, it would save me so much time.
Instant. Perfect. Wow, what a good answer. But even better answer for any marketers listening, automating your busy work away with ActiveCampaign. Their autonomous marketing platform helps cut out the tedious parts for you, like building your email and SMS campaigns, optimizing them based on billions of data points, and summing up the results with clear next steps, not endless reports.
That way you can spend more time on the strategy and less time on the marketing admin. ActiveCampaign's specialized AI agents can extend your team and handle all that operational work so you get your message out there in minutes and not weeks.
Plus, you can align your message across every channel instead of losing things through the endless game of office telephone. Take all that work off your back when you go to ActiveCampaign.com. That's ActiveCampaign.com.
Okay, so let's start with a little data point to really dive into this. So our friends at Retail Brew recently wrote an article, and they got some data from the company called Omnisend, and they found that many Americans, 56.1% of them, are buying gifts way earlier than Black Friday. And around 24.4% of brands are kicking off their holiday marketing campaigns before November 11th.
That's before Veterans Day. That's a Veterans Day campaign. That's not a
like-
Black Friday campaign.
It's basically Halloween at this point.
So I think the thing that's interesting here is about 75% of brands as part of this survey are kicking off holiday marketing after November 11th. But I think this really indicates just the extent of how long the Black Friday, Cyber Monday moment has really kind of become. We've seen brands like Target, Amazon, REI, they already have Black Friday deals. I've been getting text messages and emails about Black Friday deals early. And I think that there's something so interesting about how that kind of removes some of the urgency. When we think about the doorbusters, when we think about the lining up, I don't think that's something I want to do. Because it's cold and kind of miserable, but there is this sense of palpable urgency, and urgency, as we know, drives purchase, right? Like you are like, I can only buy this one day, I gotta do it now, which is why sometimes you go onto a website and maybe there's a little countdown clock. It's like, you only have 11 hours left, buy that, because they know that's such a powerful marketing tool. I think that because so many brands are trying to expand that window and really drive home and kind of capture as many people, as many shoppers as possible, it also kind of removes that sense of buy now, buy now, buy now. And I think that that just means that the marketing vehicles around Black Friday has really, really changed.
Yeah, because I mean, the deals used to speak for themselves. I feel like when you were doing doorbusters and it was like, come in because this thing's going to be 50% off, 60% off, 80% off, people were going to line up even if it was late at night and it was a little cold out. Like, they were going to do it for the deal. Now, if you're trying to convince people to buy something at like 10% off or 20% off, you probably have to put a little bit more marketing push behind it to like get them to consider it and then ultimately buy it, because they could be holding out for another deal. They might not be swayed by a deal that low if they're used to those bigger numbers. They're just going to need a little bit more push.
Is 20% going to get you to
Right.
click buy, especially if you have all month to decide?
Right. Yeah. I feel like that like is illustrated by how much more marketing has to go around like making Black Friday an event. Like you said, Katie, it used to just speak for itself. It's like everyone knew when Black Friday, Cyber Monday was, and it would just like, if you wanted a deal, you would go there. But now it's like every brand kind of has to like make their Black Friday moment even more known. And that's manifested in like all of these other like elements that go into a Black Friday campaign now. I know you wrote a story, Katie, about SMS campaigning and how like that is a really key piece. And I think one of the crazy stats in there in your story was that like there's an insane amount of text that is sent every year. And think about how many brands exist and how many texts are sent. And if you need to make your Black Friday campaign stand out, how do you make your text stand out and make sure that like it's getting to your customer that will actually show up on Black Friday or log on Cyber Monday and be like, oh, like that campaign actually stuck out to me, especially if the deals are maybe not as good.
I mean, that's the thing is like when so many brands, when it's become normal to just do 10% off, 20% off, 30% off, a lot more brands are willing to participate in Black Friday, which means you've got more brands competing for attention and more brands looking for ways to stand out. So yeah, I mean, when I spoke to the brand Postscript last year, or the agency Postscript rather, they were talking about how they have like 18,000 brands that they work with on Black Friday text campaigns. I'm sure it's even more this year, but texting was the way for them to like stand out because there were so many email messages going out, so much on social, so much on TV. Like brands are eager to get attention, but at the same time, a lot of the deals are looking the same, and a lot of brands want you to just buy because it's Black Friday, not necessarily because they have something like really novel to offer.
Yeah, I think that's such an interesting point. Like, and I think that's why we've seen interest in SMS marketing, year round, texting people directly to their phones. A text message is way more visible than an email. I mean, think about the number of unread emails you have in your inbox.
It's actually scary.
It's actually,
don't look at it.
A chill went down my spine thinking about it. So, but versus a text, it's like I read all my texts because they're directly to my phone.
They're kind of more in your face.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that's such a good point, Katie. There is such a cluttered environment around Black Friday because it's not just, first of all, Black Friday is Cyber Monday, and Cyber Monday is Black Friday.
I mean, there's also Travel Tuesday now, and like there's all these different things. Like
it's all kind of just turned into this huge consumption holiday, right? And it's, I'm getting a text message advertising a Black Friday deal from a brand that I can only buy online, right? Like just like the ways that people have shopped has changed, the way that people market. So I think Black Friday is kind of the branding that stands out because nobody says, oh, well, I'll wait until Monday to buy the thing online. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think that because so many brands are participating and because it is, again, just an opportunity to be part of a deal, if you search Black Friday deals, maybe you have a shot at appearing, right? Or maybe that makes it a little bit more attractive to somebody that was already planning on buying your product. That just means that there is so much noise. And I think something I do want to talk about, though, is it's not just noisy, but there's also this question, particularly this year, of are you giving people the right message? Because first of all, you've talked about if it's 10%, if it's 20%, people may not feel like they're really getting a good deal. And particularly in this economic environment, the University of Michigan has preliminary results from its consumer survey. It does a monthly consumer survey. In November, the preliminary results found that, consumer sentiment was down 6.2% from October and 29.9% down year over year. So the consumer sentiment index has reached its lowest level in 3 years' time. That is a challenging space to be marketing in. Affordability is a top priority, right? If the consumer sentiment is low, that means people are not eager to be parting with their hard-earned cash. And so how do brands actually brand their sales? Do they have a higher percentage to make it more attractive? And also, do you risk alienating a consumer or making a consumer really almost, I don't want to say fatigued, but sort of almost a backlash, like, this is not the moment that I need to be receiving this email advertising 10% off.
Yeah, I mean, if you brand it as like, this is a big savings event and it is a low, if it's the same offer you're giving people for like signing up for your email newsletter and you're branding it as like this big savings opportunity, people can read through that. They're going to be fatigued with your brand or they're going to be upset about that.
It also, I feel like, depends on specific brands, right? Like, it's if the general economic environment is one of uncertainty and people holding back on what they're spending, sometimes it can feel really like almost offensive to like to put your like maybe like really luxurious brand or really like just like a fun to have thing at like positioning it as like, you have to get this now, you have to get this deal while it's hot, it's only happening Black Friday, and people like might be thinking like, this is not the time. Like, I'm thinking about how I'm going to afford my groceries next month. I don't have extra money to go buy, like, I don't know, the next electronic that I don't really need, or gifts that, like, I want to give, but I can't go really hard for. So you want to capitalize on this big event where people are shopping. Of course, it's right before Christmas, which is when a lot of people are looking for gifts too. It's a tough push and pull, I feel like, for brands to be in, because they're like, it's been established for so long that people shop on this holiday and this date, but in this particular environment, do you risk yourself like looking bad and being like, spend your hard-earned money on me when you might not have it?
Right. And I do think that's it's something that I think some consumers are kind of wising up to a little bit, right? Like recognizing this is a discretionary purchase. Don't tell me I need to buy this. Like people are, and it's almost a perception of like, that maybe not from like, I could buy this if I want, but like, are you really sending this now? Have you looked outside? And
in this environment?
Right. In this economy?
Yeah.
And I think that's such an interesting kind of balance, because obviously retailers maybe are putting together lists of many different types of brands. And a brand might usually benefit from being on a list of, must-have gifts, like, under $75 or something like that. But and brands might be advertising directly through maybe first-party data, emails, text messages, et cetera. But there is that balance of, am I reaching the right people at the right moment? Is it worth it to maybe alienate a couple consumers who are going to say, this is not the time for me, don't send me these messages.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about those lists a little bit more, right? Because another name for those lists, gift guides. How important do you think it is for brands to get themselves on gift guides, especially when we've talked about, it feels like 1,000,001 brands are putting their Black Friday campaigns out? How is it actually something that moves the needle, or is it something that doesn't matter? What have you guys seen?
I think it is. I mean, I think we're, in addition to like the traditional ones, like, getting on The Strategist or getting on Oprah's Favorite Things, there's also like the influencer effect. So I think a lot of people have fatigue when it comes to even trying to think of like what to get somebody. And it helps a lot to have somebody curate a list for you, especially if it's an influencer that you like really resonate with, someone who has your same style or is buying for somebody very similar to who you're buying for, then that really helps narrow things down. And I think a lot of brands, for that reason, will do affiliate marketing with influencers because they want them to put them on their gift guide.
Yeah. I think, Katie, last year you talked with Lauren Kleinman, who's founded Dream Day, which is a PR agency, and she also co-founded The Quality Edit, which is a product recommendation website. And she works with a lot of brands on getting them placed in the gift guide. And this is sort of a year-round endeavor for a lot of brands. Obviously, I think for a lot of these lists, your brand has to be good and has to be giftable to be a gift guide. So, it's hard to sell somebody a lug nut on a gift guide unless it's for my dad. But I think one of the things that's really interesting is I do think that consumers are looking for that guidance because there's so many deals. even going on Google search is so difficult to parse the results because you have no idea what's coming up. It feels like every company has a gift guide or an affiliate marketing kind of program. But I do think that that is sort of the stamp of approval that a lot of people look at, especially when you think about people who are buying a lot of gifts and they're going, oh my gosh, I don't know what to buy. Or they say, I have a really limited budget. I'm only looking for things that are under $35 because that is what I have budgeted for this person or, as part of my list. And I think that that helps let people sift through the thousands, millions of deals.
Yeah.
And so I do think that that's a really essential thing. I think Lauren told you last year, Katie, I pulled this up because I thought it was such a good stat, which is one of the publications. She's worked with Oprah's Favorite Things, The Strategist, Wirecutter, CNN's Underscored. One publication drove over $400,000 in revenue for one of their clients in the fourth quarter.
And just one gift guide. That's crazy.
Exactly. So it really can be a hugely impactful sort of placement. But I do think that also, again, part of it is what what is the brand? What are you gifting? And how does that, how does your strategy work year round to do that? So I imagine that after this Black Friday, first of all, we're going to get some information about how consumers are actually spending, how much are they willing to spend, what is the consumer sentiment? And then I think we're also going to learn, and I think some brands might go back to the drawing board and go, how do I actually shore up my plan to get on some gift guides for next year or, really stand out because the economic situation a year from now could be totally different. But if you start thinking about that gift guide strategy in January, or in December, that sets you up for, kind of laying the groundwork to make that happen a year later.
Yeah. I mean, typically with these like gift guides and with these like holiday campaigns with creators, like brands are working on these in the summer months, really like setting the stage for like 6 months ahead. But I'm just talking to some agency sources. It sounds like this year they're shifting like some money away from it a little bit, shifting more to affiliate just because budgets are tightening. CFOs are looking at marketing budgets and wanting to see results more. So I think all around the board, I mean, brands want to spend a little bit less, consumers want to spend a little bit less. I'm curious to see like what the results are from this year's Black Friday compared to years past.
Yeah, definitely. So do you guys think there are brands out there or a brand that like really does Black Friday well or does Black Friday a lot? if not well, they
Or
just
not
really
at all.
commit to
Patagonia.
it? Yeah. Oh, so true. Yeah.
Right. Oh, right. Just opt out.
Opted out completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, that's such an interesting topic is just opting out of a sale and saying like, you'll buy us when you need us.
Yeah.
It's definitely a mark of only some brands have the luxury of being able to do that. And some brands want to position as like, we are
everyone.
Yeah. Or we're just not going to move through, like, just come by us when you're ready. That's it. Obviously, lots of brands do not do that. I was going to say, when you said brands that do a lot is Amazon, I would say, obviously. Black Friday is a week. Amazon just invents new shopping holidays for
It's crazy.
the U.S. consumer.
I think there's like 5 Prime days a year now.
So true.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that has been a really interesting thing that Amazon has done is in 2023, they actually streamed a Black Friday NFL game on Amazon Prime Video, but it was free for everybody, so not just Prime members. And they've done this for the last, this upcoming year will be their third year doing a Black Friday NFL game, which this year will be streamed globally. But it is basically an ad with a football game playing in the background. Like, there are ads sort of everywhere. And that's really what their, Amazon Ads VP of Global Ad Sales said in 2023 when this first rolled out, is like, this will help brands cut through the clutter. They will show up. You can't miss it if it's on the screen. And so I think for some brands, that's an attractive place. For Amazon, obviously, they, have a lot to gain from this, because if you're buying it on Amazon, they, get that boost as well. So I just think that that's such an interesting thing. But I do wonder, again, the question is how much does that work? And does that mean that then brands go, okay, I need to increasingly focus on trying to get on those big screens, break cut through the clutter. Or they say, I'm going to do a affiliate as a safe bet. I know exactly where where it worked, where the investment worked. I know exactly who's driving, the sales, and there we go. It's a small investment, but we make up for it in the fact that we didn't have to spend a lot on the marketing effort.
Yeah, I feel like that Amazon game for Black Friday really demonstrates what we have been saying this whole time, is that Black Friday has changed so much that like you have to go as big as a football game to get people to pay attention to your Black Friday event and your particular sale. And I think it works with Amazon because they have like built up this brand identity, as you said, Katie, like of like shopping holidays and Prime days, and like it like finding a deal and shopping all the time is so integrated into the Amazon brand that they were like, okay, let's up the ante even more for Black Friday. But if they're doing that, how does that affect all of the other brands that want to be a part of Black Friday? I don't know if I can take it if everyone is going to go the sports game or live event and just make Black Friday even more in your face.
Maybe just tap out. I feel like I know more and more people who are just like, I'm not even interested in Black Friday deals because there's so many being just like blasted at me and they're not actually that good. I mean, some retailers too like up the price before they advertise that it's a certain percentage off. You're not supposed to do that, but I've seen, I think Prime Day had that a couple of years ago.
I think that's such a good point of some consumers are reaching a point of they don't like feeling pressured to buy. Like it's a kind of a stressful thing. Again, even if it's all month long, it's like, well, hurry up, make a decision. Like remember me? Like you put this in your cart. Did you buy it? And I think some people are saying, I just want to get my holiday shopping done in June, and I don't even want to think about it. And then all those ads are,
tune them out.
Yeah,
over my head.
Yep.
Exactly.
Don't even need to see them. Okay, so what Black Friday, Cyber Monday marketing strategy do you guys think might actually work on you? Even though we are rolling our eyes at it a little bit, it is everywhere and it is in your face, and odds are it might get you. What do you think will get you?
I think for me, it's a scarcity thing. If it's a brand that only does one sale a year or maybe two, and one of them is Black Friday, I'm more inclined to like wait to purchase from them until then. Especially if it's like a higher end brand. Like there's one in particular, like if I want to buy like a nice sweater or a nice new coat, like I might wait and buy then. But for brands that just are constantly doing different promos, I don't feel the sense of urgency to like make sure I'm buying on Black Friday.
Yeah. I feel like for me, this gets back to the thing, but a really good deal on something that I actually was planning on buying before, which is sort of the whole point, right? The whole idea of Black Friday in kind of at the outset is, right, have you been eyeing this thing? Well, we're clearing out the inventory for the end of the year, so
go get it.
It's 80% off. I think that promise, and again, that really is sort of like, if you know that I've shopped at your brand and I have been looking at this thing for 9 months, and then you send me an email or a text message and you're like, hey, this thing's now like 50% off, I'm hitting buy right away because I've already indicated something that I want. I am not often looking for new things to buy during Black Friday because it's so overwhelming. I'm stressed out.
Yeah.
It's sort of, have I already identified it, and then can I justify it because of that sale? And I think that scarcity thing is such a good point, Katie. It's not the same for every consumer, right? But for me, I think knowing, okay, this is the time to hit buy because this only happens once a year.
Deal's not going to get any better.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, I have a crazy idea for the brands out there. Make that live experience crazy again. Like
I agree. I
know?
We've talked on this podcast about like the death of the third place. People want to leave their house. They want to go to events. I think people probably would respond well to some doorbusters this year.
Can you imagine an abandoned mall opened up for Black Friday, pop-ups everywhere?
I'm in.
People would have a blast.
Or like a D2C brand that's never normally in person. They do some sort of doorbuster. Like, we've got a pop-up at your local mall. Come in person. And like, it's like we've seen the sample sales go viral all the time on TikTok. Like, people like being able to go in and just get whatever they can.
You
for a
had
good
to
deal.
be there.
Yep.
Yeah. So it is that scarcity, that exclusivity thing. And it's been proven to work in the past. So maybe it's just going back to the drawing board and bringing back something that literally already works.
Back to the basics. I love it.
Seriously. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. And if you've seen a Black Friday, Cyber Monday campaign out there that made you think, I kind of like that. Send us a note at mkpw@morningbrew.com, which you can also find in the show notes. We'll catch you next week.